Through the ashes I'll rise. Hope will never die. This is the new age. I'm alive. The dawn is risen. I have awakened. We'll take back our lives. Through the ashes we'll rise. Through the ashes I'll rise.
Three very talented local brothers are singing their way into the hearts of audiences all over the world on their exciting performances on Ellen DeGeneres and America's Got Talent.
One of the brothers will be performing in a new Netflix series called Motown Magic.
Since we went viral, our typical schedule has been working on music, doing schoolwork. We run 35 kilometers a week, volunteering in our community, traveling all the time, performing on different TV shows, concerts. We've been always on the go. When I wake up in the morning, I get to reflect on the journey and how much we have accomplished so far.
The Ellen Show, America's Got Talent, The Apollo, Steve Harvey, Little Big Shots,
Nickelodeon, America's Most Musical Family. All that has been great. But for me, what I really dream about is the future.
and what we can accomplish together as brothers.
Audience, get ready, because you gotta make some noise for who you want to see win. We have a winner. It's the Melisizwe Brothers.
Seth and I were born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and Zachary was born in Edmonton, Alberta. I was 4 years old when our family decided to leave Toronto and move to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. When our family moved to Alberta, we settled in downtown Edmonton. Two years later, our parents decided to move to Leduc.
How old are you now?
Seth, Zach, and I attended École Corinthia Park, the elementary school in Leduc. Seth, Zach, and I had to depend on each other. At school, there weren't a lot of black families. Most of the time, it was just the three of us. That didn't bother us because our parents taught us, no matter where we go in the world, look at people for who they are, not for the color of their skin.
Our babysitter at the time was Grace. Grace had a piano. Every chance that we got, we played that piano. We loved music.
For the young children, if they love music, I will encourage parents to support as much as you can. I first noticed that Zachary start moving, dancing along, and start singing. Very quick learning all the songs from beginning to the end, and Zachary enjoying singing along and dancing. Later, Mark is the one who is singing very good, and I said, Mark is going to be a good singer one day. And by the time you are famous, I will be there.
Whenever I give Mark a hard time, my parents always remind me, hey, if it wasn't for Mark being on that stage, singing in front of an audience, in front of you, then you wouldn't be singing today. I always have to remind myself that my inspiration comes from Mark. I was 3 years old when I first saw Mark perform on stage at his school talent show. Seeing Mark on stage, everyone just loving his voice, it made me feel that was something that I could do too. From that moment, I decided I want to be on the stage.
I was 7 years old when I started vocal classes at the Leduc School of Music. Seth was 6 years old when he started piano classes, and Zach was 5 years old when he started piano classes. My vocal teacher at the Leduc School of Music was Shelley McCubbing. Shelley focused on vocal technique, breathing, and showed me how to preserve my vocals.
Usually when a student's coming in at 7, you're a little bit uncertain of how that's going to go. When I started lessons with Mark, I quickly realized that he was very talented. He was always a very motivated student. Mark came ready, practiced his songs. He was a highlight of my teaching for sure.
We took music classes for 4 years. In those 4 years, I participated in vocal competitions.
Although I did really well in those vocal competitions,
I'd never get the opportunity to represent the province. Our parents saw our frustration with not getting the opportunity to represent. They decided to take us out of music classes, and together we decided that we would learn music on our own. Luckily for us, our mom was a singer, and our dad was very strong when it came to music theory. We would spend countless hours practicing music theory, vocal technique, scales. Over time, we got better and better. By the time I was 10 years old, we learned how to read music at a professional level.
Our parents are from an island in the Caribbean called St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Our parents used to tell us stories of when they grew up in St. Vincent, what it was like climbing trees, picking mangoes and coconut and breadfruit. I always knew I wanted to go to St. Vincent and experience the same thing.
When I was 12, Zach was 8 and Seth was 9, our parents sold our house in Alberta and moved us to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Living in St. Vincent was a new experience. We got to go to school, go to the beach, we ate the fruits. It was completely different from what we were used to in Canada. We got to live the way that our parents lived when they grew up on the island. We started running for fun on St. Vincent. We started off with the short distances, then we got into running long distances. It helped us with our music and discipline. To this day, we run about 35 kilometers a week.
How's the run, Seth? The run was pretty great. Running was something that brought us closer together as brothers, and it taught us that in any situation, we can always depend on each other, and we can always be there for each other to lift each other up.
While living in St. Vincent,
We still kept up with our music.
our parents started a YouTube and Facebook channel. We would post videos on YouTube and Facebook for our family and friends to see. One day, a video had gone viral on Facebook. That's when I saw that, hey, our music is starting to go somewhere.
Everybody knew who we were on the island. We started getting invited to different churches to play, hotels, resorts, events across the country. Before we knew it, we became local celebrities.
Together, all the Melisizwe Brothers.
While we were living in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we wanted a name for a group. We come up with names such as the James Brothers or the James Trio. Our dad wanted us to choose a name that had meaning, a name that we could live up to.
Melisizwe means leaders of the future or stand for the nation. Our dad chose that name for us because it has all three of our initials, Meli for Mark, C's for Seth and Zachary, and Way because it has we. It started to get really crazy. We were getting calls from national television shows from the US and all over the world. After we went viral, our parents decided that if we were going to pursue music, we would have to move back to Canada.
They were willing to sacrifice the lives they had for us to pursue our musical dreams. So here we were, exactly 1 year after living on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, packing our bags and catching a flight back to Canada.
We moved back to Canada in September 2016. We didn't have a home, so we moved in with our Aunt Michelle. We lived with our aunt for 7 months in her basement. Zach and I slept on the couch, Mark slept on a single bed, and our parents slept in one room. As a result of going viral, our parents decided to put us in homeschooling. It was very different. Our parents always
told us to take our education seriously.
In the basement, we would record videos and we would post them online. And each video we posted, people loved them.
Okay, so let's go. Zachary's here with us, and Zachary's gonna help us make the song complete.
Zach,
ready?
Say hi. Hey, how you doing?
Right. Hi.
I got an email saying you need to get you and your camera to a school in Leduc today, because you're gonna see a group of local performers that are gonna blow your mind. It's not often that I don't even know what I'm going to or who I'm going to see that compelled me to get a camera and drive on Highway 2 out to Leduc to see what was going on. I was expecting a novelty act, right? And I mean, I was expecting, hey, here's some kids that are trying like really hard, and it's gonna be cute to see how young they are. But about a minute later, when they started performing, I'm like, oh no, these guys are really good. This is the real deal. This seems a little unexpected. I remember having that talk to say, like, who are you? And what are you doing? Like, how do I not know about you? I remember having that conversation. I never have seen anything like this. I've never seen three brothers so polished, so good musically, that could deliver. And I knew right away, there's something special.
2 months after returning from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we got a call from the Ellen DeGeneres Show. We didn't expect that something like that would happen so soon. It was the first time appearing on national television in the US. Ellen put us up in Universal Studios at the Hilton Hotel in the Michael Jackson suite. Now that was pretty awesome.
From Edmonton, Canada, please welcome brothers Mark, Seth, and Zachary.
So how do you feel about doing all that you're doing in the music industry and then also being a kid? How do you make time to just have fun?
I couldn't predict that the group was going to be shot into stardom. If you would have told me, hey, in 6 months, these boys will be on Ellen, I mean, like, that will not surprise me. That would not actually shock me at that time. Mark and Sherry have always been, what can we give back to the community? How can I raise good kids? How can we encourage them to make good music? But it's been that balance, that family life, not telling your kids you're stars, we're gonna move you to Hollywood. And kids believe it. When they're young, they start to act like stars. Mark and Sherry did a great job of saying we're family first, we're community first, and we're music. That's what's keeping them grounded.
Being on Ellen showed us the value of our music, and through that we started the Goldmine program. We give away instruments, host music events, showcases, symposiums, travel to schools, to communities, in hopes of inspiring others and sharing our story that we're just three ordinary brothers working together to do extraordinary things.
Closing the show tonight, I give you Zachary, Seth, and Mark.
When I brought Mark, Seth, and Zach to the J5 school, and they first performed Goldmine, the children were clapping, the brothers got them up on their feet. The children were just, if they can do it, I can do it. Wow. The message behind it, use your mind. Your mind is a gold mine. The positive message behind that song, very impactful for those kids.
For the Brothers Goldmine program, it's so meaningful. it's impactful because it allows others to really connect. We need examples in our lives. We need teachers and mentors and people that can help us move in the direction that we want to. The Goldmine program, it's a hands-on, very organic and community-based program of allowing others that are interested to be able to say, well, if you're really interested, here's an opportunity for you. It's our Goldmine program. And we believe you have gifts and talents. You have your own gold mine. We're here to nurture that because we're nurturing that within ourselves. Picasso said the purpose of life is to discover your gifts, and the meaning of life is to share them, to give that away. I think that the brothers are a perfect example of that.
I just remember talking to the Melisizwe Brothers. It wasn't like we're gonna be famous and we're gonna make a big record. We're going to be doing some work for charity. We're going to get involved in the community. And it's a really interesting thing to feel that music was the conduit, even back then, to something bigger. To watch the progression of the Melisizwe Brothers, musically, it's still been great, but I think the community aspect has even been more reinforced, and that's pretty special.
After the Ellen Show, our lives changed forever. We were getting calls from big television shows, producers, talent agents. We were traveling from LA to New York. Traveling to the UK for the first time was an eye-opener. We got to see so much. We got to walk around in London, visit the Buckingham Palace. Everybody looks as if they're going somewhere. The highlight of our trip in London was Little Big Shots. New York City is different. The streets are always busy. People are walking everywhere. The lights, the music. It's a city where something is always happening. The Apollo Theater in New York City was a life-changing moment for us. Winning that competition made us believe that we have what it takes. We were scheduled to perform in New York City with Steve Harvey. The day before we left to New York for our performance, our Facebook page got hacked. We lost everything. We thought it was over. We had almost reached 1 million followers, and all of that was gone in an instant. I remember our parents asked us if we wanted to call it quits. We said, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna start over again. And so we did. We created a new Facebook page. We had to start from the ground up. That was in 2017, December 2017. There's something called second effort. When you get hit, you don't go down. You gotta roll and get some extra miles. You gotta keep going. And that's what we did.
After our Facebook page got hacked, we started a new Facebook channel, and people started to share our videos again. It gave us the opportunity to focus on where our energies had to be. Education, learning how to create content, to create videos, produce music, and write music. Soon after, we got a call from America's Got Talent. Then we went to Brazil. We performed in front of 90,000 people. Looking back, despite losing everything, our Facebook channel, our followers, I'm really glad that we kept going.
Because our parents made the decision to prioritize our musical careers, they had to make a lot of sacrifices for us. There were times that we didn't have much, but we acted as if we had everything that we needed. Our parents always told us to have a smile on our faces, always look at the brighter side of things, and that tough times never last, but tough people do.
In 2017, we decided to take our music to the next level and have our first ever live concert in Edmonton.
In 2017, the Melisizwe Brothers asked me if I'd be interested in joining the group right after the boys' first concert in Leduc. I never played with such talented kids before, but when I joined the group, the first thing that I noticed is that they're so musical, in spite of the fact that they're so young. Joining them was one of the best decisions that I've made in my music career. As they grew up musically, I myself grew up musically as well.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for showing me that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. To be asked to be the church that hosted the very first concert of the brothers I was so excited. I was so happy to take it on. I just remember everybody having a really good time. Wow, I think I just felt honored more than anything that I was asked to do it. It's a great memory of my connection with the family.
We started touring. We toured Leduc, Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Camrose, Abbotsford, BC, Victoria, BC, Toronto. We were touring all across Canada.
Touring helped us to grow as musicians. Every venue that we performed at, we continued to get better and better.
Mark, Zach, and Seth each did something that made it the whole. They brought their own character to it. Because if everybody was Zachary, that wouldn't have been quite the same as being able to just have one as the sort of main singer. But yet at the same time, when Mark would come and sing, you'd be like, oh my God, listen to his voice. And
a lot of our friends and family volunteered at our events, and we're very grateful to have such supportive friends and family and a strong community, because without them we wouldn't have been able to do the things that we've done so far in our musical career.
It's amazing to feel like you're part of something much bigger that was nurtured and developed. It didn't happen overnight. I was there after the Melisizwe Brothers were first discovered. I was at the concert when they debuted their album. Those are moments that in time that you'll never forget.
One of the things that I had to do was to make some adjustments to what the boys wanted to put out there musically. One of the most endearing experiences that I had with Zach was every time we would rehearse, or even during sound check, he would come up to me and just ask me a lot of questions about, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? You know. I believe that this blessing is for me to share. It's not really for me to keep for my own.
America's Most Musical Family. That was a game changer for us.
Three brothers from north of the border who've been capturing hearts all across America since the very...
In 2019, we got a call from the producers of America's Most Musical Family. We didn't know what the competition was going to be like, but we decided to go for it. We were three brothers from Canada competing to be America's Most Musical Family. We got to meet some great musicians and producers who helped us grow in every aspect of our musical ability.
Melisizwe Brothers on America's Most Musical Family. Finale interview. Action.
The band winning $250,000. And their very own recording contract with Republic Records.
In the end, we won the competition.
The Melisizwe Brothers!
Winning America's Most Musical Family gave us the belief that, yeah, we have what it takes to make it in the music industry.
Now you're thinking that the smart money from management and even parents, it's like, well, let's pack up and move to Los Angeles. That's the first instinct. Why are you still here? And I think a lot of people are questioning that attitude. It seems that if you stay in Edmonton, then you couldn't be taken seriously. And that's changing. And I think the Melisizwe Brothers have been part of that change.
After winning America's Most Musical Family, we had the opportunity to move down to Los Angeles, but our parents, they thought that it'd be best for us to stay in Leduc, Alberta, and finish our education, get a degree, and still pursue our music. With today's modern technology, they felt that it'd still be possible for us to do all the things that we do in music and education. You can do that all at home and still have a career in the music industry. We've done so many TV shows, so many concerts. It's not just about being musicians and being famous. It's about education, learning the business side of the music industry.
I want to see what these guys are doing in a year, and 10 years, and 30 years, and 50 years. They're standing there with all this promise of what's to come.
When the pandemic began, it was very sudden for us. We immediately had to figure out a way to keep the momentum going. The pandemic was a time for us to reflect on our journey and everything that we've been through, to strategize, to think of how to better ourselves. We focused on honing our skills in our music, writing songs. Mark started to handle our social media. Seth focused on video editing. I focused on producing music. We wanted to be prepared for whatever was to come next.
I had the opportunity to watch the behind the scenes, the practicing, the promotion, to headline a concert, to do 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. To do it consistently for several years, what I see from the Melisizwe Brothers is tenacity. And tenacity generally will get you to the top.
Coming out of the pandemic, I was 15, Zach was 14, and Mark was 18. Our social media presence was still growing. We were a lot better in our musicianship. I remember throughout my high school years, we were always traveling, performing on TV. When I graduated high school, that was a major accomplishment for me. I am now in my second year at Berklee College of Music, pursuing my degree in music business. Now I'll be able to help my group and the up-and-coming artists.
Mark, he's pursuing a music career, and then he's doing his education and getting a marketing degree so he can further his music. Not everybody can do that. It's a lot of work to put in.
Mark, Zach, and Seth going to school, I think it was an inevitable
next stage that should be happening to continue on their journey.
Making it in the music business isn't easy. As a performer, the brothers aren't just going out and saying, hey, we'll sacrifice anything at any cost. There's a new world out there. Getting a good education, it's not only beneficial, it's necessary. Part of making it in the music business is knowing what's going on, being able to handle yourself, to know what management is all about, being smart about stuff, but still being talented and creative can all go hand in hand.
Community has always been a big part of who we are. Our parents taught us that when you stick together and rely on the people who support you and believe in you, there's nothing that can get in the way of your dreams or your goals.
Best advice I could give. Stay together and be together as long as you can, because you're going to wake up one day and you'll just be older yet again. It's been an honor and a privilege to have been on the journey with Mark, Zach, and Seth from the time that we saw them when they were young, and then the beautiful young men that they are now. It's like they're still yesterday, but they're taller.
I would like to see the greatest success for the brothers. They have a focus on what they want to do and where they want to go. They found a way to work together. And for me, that's so important. It is not every family that the children can work together. And if the brothers maintain that, they could be successful in the areas in which they are hoping to pursue.
It's always been great to see the artists that are successful choose to be part of the community. I take zero credit for any of the success that's going on, but at some point I was part of it, part of a tiny, tiny bit about elevating them and letting people know and shining a light on true Edmonton, but Canadian world role models. I think a lot of kids would want to live up to those standards. I'm glad to be part of something that's been positive.
If you would have seen us in our early days practicing in our basement, you would never imagine that we'd come this far. This is not the end. While the journey ahead may be uncertain, we are prepared for what's to come. We are Melisizwe.